Two Senate candidates meeting face-to-face tonight for a debate amid a fierce battle in Kentucky. Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell finds himself in a close race with Democrat Alison Lundergan Grimes. One recent poll showing that Grimes has a slight lead, but the average polls from Real Clear Politics show that Senator McConnell is leading Grimes by 3 points. So let's bring in Jonah Goldberg. He's editor-at-large for National Review Online and a Fox News contributor. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, great to be here.
So let's talk a little bit more about this race that's going on in Kentucky. You know, Alison Lundergan Grimes, at this point, the infamous soundbite, her response to being questioned as to whether or not she voted for President Obama. For 40 seconds, she responded at least 4 times, refusing to answer that. But what I also found interesting in that piece that has crossed is she was specific about being a Clinton Democrat. So this race in Kentucky, is it boiling down to an anti-Obama race, which is what the Republicans would want, or is it boiling down to something else?
Well, I think it's sort of the way to think about it is the negative approval or the large amount of disapproval for Barack Obama is like background radiation in American politics in almost all of these races, and it's something that you have to be have a particularly strong political constitution to be able to resist the effects of it if you're a Democrat. And some of the candidates are pretty good at it. Alison Lundergan Grimes, who had a lot of potential and a lot of people thought might actually pull it off in beating McConnell, now looks like she can't handle it in this environment anymore. And that incredibly embarrassing and awkward video where she's saying, where she can't answer the question about whether she voted for Barack Obama in the past is a perfectly good example of it. It's that kind of in that kind of environment. Even simple softball politics 101 questions are opportunities for gaffes that can get you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and when you have a really close race, I mean, at this point, the Real Clear Politics, as we mentioned, just a 3-point difference, those mistakes can mean a lot. Now, another race that you wanted to talk about is what's going on in Colorado. How do you see that shaping up?
Well, yeah, this is at least for someone like me who thinks that a lot of the war on women rhetoric that we've been hearing from Barack Obama and Democrats is demagogic and disingenuous and a lot of other negative words that begin with D, and including dumb. I think what is really interesting is that we've seen Mark Udall, who's now sort of earned the nickname Mark Uterus, so overplay the women's card and the war on women's gambit that it's starting to backfire on him. And that it's turning out not to do what he needs it to do to put himself over the top. And I think, personally, I think a politics where we don't treat particularly single white women as if they are too dumb to follow any other issues other than this sort of panic about birth control pills would be better for the country, better for women, better for everybody. And it's nice to see, from my perspective at least, that strategy is starting to hit the point of diminishing returns. And we're seeing Cory Gardner start to pull away with it in what is a purple, almost blue state now.
So a lot of this also is coming down to money. And we are talking about big amounts of money that are being spent from both sides in these particular states. So how is that going to influence things?
Sure. Well, it depends on state by state. In some of these places, you just don't have enough physical airtime in the space-time continuum to buy more ads. I mean, people are throwing in, the Democrats just announced they're going to throw $1 million into South Dakota. $1 million probably would buy, who knows how much airtime in South Dakota at this point. And so you're seeing things saturated all over the place. One of the things that has helped Democrats enormously is they have actually raised vastly more money than Republicans have at a lot of these different levels. They're spending a lot more money. In North Carolina, they're outspending Republicans, I think, 2-1. And yet they claim that it's all the evil Koch brothers and there's sort of other James Bond-like villains who are throwing all the money into Republicans, when in the reality is that most of the money is actually on the Democratic side, but a lot of the mainstream media covers it as if, it must be the Republicans who are taking advantage of all of this outside money. Okay,
and just quickly, Republicans need to pick up 6 seats to control the Senate. Will they do it?
Right now, I would bet yes, but Kansas is worrisome, and there's some other places where it's possible the Democrats could squeak it out. But I think right now you're looking at about 7 seats. Maybe
all right,
8.
22 days to go. Thank you so much, Jonah Goldberg. We appreciate it.